about 3 hours and
Just
rolling away.
Let's go. So he's strong. He's conditioned. He's this is the ideal for a grappling athlete. So let's shift gears a little bit, man. You talked about breakfast a minute ago. So I mentioned, and how you and I became friends through the vegan community.
Yep.
Where did this whole vegan thing start, man? What did it, take us back? How long it's been? How old are you now? You're 20.
I'm 24 now.
24. So
Yep.
when did you make the decision to adopt a vegan diet? What led up to it? What's your vegan story, man? What got you into it?
Really, actually, my mom got me into it back in 2010 in February, which was my freshman year in high school. And she saw 3 raw vegans in the same week, and she wanted to try it for 2 weeks. I said, I'll give it a shot with you. After those 2 weeks, I felt better. I was recovering better. My strength went up in 2 weeks.
Now you went raw vegan. You weren't just doing a plant-based diet. You were eating fresh, whole foods
Yep.
that require 0 preparation.
Yep.
Wow.
So I tried it for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm not going back. Because my thought was, if I feel this great, and I can perform even better, like I was doing 3 days when I was a freshman in high school.
What were you eating? So I mean, I've done a lot of raw vegan nutrition myself, and I know there's a couple different approaches. You got
Yep.
people who are fruitarian, where they're eating more fruit based.
Yep.
You got some people who are more greens and nuts and more of a balance of fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. What was your diet like when you were doing the raw diet?
When I first started that, it was just, I had a wide variety because my mom showed me all these foods, and so I still ate pretty much almost the same, just took all the animal products out. So I'm still eating all the greens, the fruits, the nuts, the seeds, and after those 2 weeks, I was like experimenting with some cooked food like, potatoes, rice, quinoa, and, I just stuck with that.
So is that pretty much how you're eating now? Mostly a whole food, plant-based diet like
Most
that?
of the time, yes, and then, when I go travel, I get a little crazy and eat something.
We had to when we were in Austin, man. I mean, freaking donuts and everything now.
Donuts and everything like that, heck yeah. After competition, right to it.
Cool. What about, now I know we talked a little bit about making weight. Now, what you got to understand about this guy here is he doesn't cut weight. He just tells the scale what to say. That's the vegan legend right here in my office. That's his trick to cutting weight. He just doesn't cut weight. He tells the scale what to say. The scale respects him and gives him whatever weight. But when you adopted the plant-based diet, because I know, like, I interviewed Mac Danzig for one of the books I wrote a while back, and one of the things he noticed, like especially going to a more raw-based diet, he had no issue making 155, making his weight class when he was fighting competitively. How did that affect you and your body weight and things like that?
My body weight kept pretty much consistently because, your body's not inflamed. So you're able to sustain a normal body weight for yourself. So I was able to, sustain, 160 for my freshman year.
Never an issue with cutting weight.
Never an issue.
Being hydrated, everything was good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, once you get to high school, that's more when they push, cutting weight.
Sure.
And yeah, I did cut a little bit of weight in high school, and after I got tired of cutting weight, I was like, no more. So I just went up a weight class. So I wrestled.
Hear that, wrestlers? Go up a weight class. There's nothing wrong with coming in strong, well-fed, well-hydrated, right? Yeah.
Heck, I went down to Panama, and they only did the Olympic weight classes there. So I was like, I can either go down to 77 kilos or 87 kilos instead of my weight class of 80 kilos I was wrestling for the Worlds. And I was like, well, I'm not going to make 77 kilos. I'm already eating too much food to make 77, so I'm going 87 kilos.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm going 87.
Nice. So what's a normal, like what are you eating now? Like, what's a normal, I mean, not right, I know you're traveling right now, but when you're home and, and you're in your normal mode, what's a normal day of eating look like for you?
Normal, I get up, after training and whatnot, I'll make a big smoothie with some greens, blueberries, a little bit of protein powder. I'll put maybe some coconut oil in there, and then almond milk and blend that up. I'll drink that. Then I'll make oatmeal, depending on how hungry I am, either half a cup or a full cup. And then I'll put cinnamon in that, and then some peanut butter and coconut oil. Then raisins. I'll mix that up, and I'll eat that before work, and then usually for lunch, if I get lunch for work. They don't always give you lunch if you're working hard. But I usually make, a salad. Big kale salad with anything I can put in there. Anything I find in the fridge. Tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados, seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds. I'll throw it in there. as much as I can, because I mean, trying to
Yeah.
sustain the energy throughout the whole day, and then I'll do that, and then I'll have snacks along the way, lower bars, apples, bananas, just throughout the whole day, just so I can keep something in the system.
Yeah.
And then usually for dinner, I'll either make sandwiches or a wrap with more kale, tofu, as much food as I can put on the plate, sometimes rice, quinoa, just as much as I can. Scarfing down food. Well, healthy food.
Nutrient density, yeah, and I mean a lot of what you're describing isn't mega calories.
No.
So in order to get those calories up, you got to eat a lot of it. But you're working hard. You got a manual labor job. You're training physically, and some people might look at that and say that's not a lot of calories, but you are getting a ton of nutrition there.
Oh yeah.
So you're having no problem eating your nutrients, you're getting your vitamins, your minerals, your
Yep.
enzymes. So you notice no issue with fatigue. You're performing well. You're recovering well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
perform well.
no issues with weight, right? You're able to keep your weight down.
I got no issue with the weight, especially after I changed the weight classes. Instead of 80 kilos, now I wrestle 82.
Yeah.
I'm eating like a king.
There you go. There you go. So what did when you switched to a plant-based diet? Did you get any pushback from your coaches or anything like that? I mean, did you get a lot of you're going to have issues with your protein, you're going to lose weight, your energy's going to be getting anything like that, or were you able to kind of transition? People left you alone.
I was able to transition just fine. I mean,
Yeah.
people, they make jokes.
Sure.
I mean, I've had it from high school all the way until even through college.
Yeah.
Everyone, every day, jokes.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, what are you doing? Your salad's outside."
Yeah. Right.
I was like, "Just leave me alone, dude. I don't mess with your food."
Yeah.
But I mean,
These guys are slamming in the training hall too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But I mean, I never had an issue with it. I mean, yeah, people make jokes, but that never mattered to me. I transitioned just fine. People were, some people were concerned, like, how do you get your protein?
Right.
How do you get your other
Yeah,
stuff?
and that's what
I
I'm
was
looking
like,
at mainly. I mean, the coaches,
Yeah.
you're concerned
But-
that you're getting your nutrient needs met and all that stuff.
But as
No
soon
issue doing it, right?
But as soon as they see how I was performing, they're like,
Just keep
guys,
doing
you
what
guys need to keep up with him.
Exactly.
I was like, well, it's not my fault, coach. It's theirs. They
There
don't
you
want
go.
to eat like this.
There you go. There you go.
I remember we had to do buddy crawls where they hold your ankles and you crawl down the football field on your hands. And I went the whole football field like it was nothing. And they're like, all right, everybody needs to start eating like Zack.
This is what everybody wanted to hear, right?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. So, a lot of people get into, so for you with veganism, oftentimes around, when we say the word vegan, that also encompasses animal welfare,
Yep.
Because a lot of people who are eating, there's certainly people who eat a plant-based diet mainly for health reasons,
Yep.
but they might still use leather products. They might, they might, use things that are not, that impact animal, welfare. So when we say vegan, we often mean we're not eating it, we're not wearing it, and then we're also doing our best in our life to minimize our impact. Obviously, you can't totally get, at the very least, you pay your taxes, you're supporting factory farms, right? So you always get the vegan police that tell you you're not vegan enough. But generally, we're not going to eat it, we're not going to wear it, and then we're going to reduce our impact in our life, right? So obviously you switched to plant, your mom got you into it. But when did the whole with animal welfare and things like that, how has that impacted you, and when was that all kind of around the same time, or?
That didn't really impact me too much until I got to college. And then I started looking at that side of it. And, I kept walking past the meat aisle in the store, and I'm like, seeing people pick that up, and I'm like, you guys really want to put that in your body? It literally smells like death. Go smell a dead body, then smell this. You still want to eat it? Like, I was thinking about the animals, after, a couple years, like how much suffering they're really going through. Because I see, animals all the time, dogs, cats, and then I, see my work has a small little cow farm too, so I see them and they tell me about what they're going to do with the cows and whatnot, and, it hurts, but, sometimes you just got to deal with it until, everyone comes to their senses.
It's hard, especially, for us in our community and stuff. I know there's a lot of people in the vegan, in my opinion, that don't represent the vegan community very well because it can become very judgmental.
Yep.
I've only been vegan now for about going on 7 years, and vegetarian a couple years prior to that. I transitioned over about a year and a half, 2 years, but it's hard, like, once you make that connection,
Yeah.
not to just grab somebody and say, don't you, come on, you know,
Yeah.
you're a good person, you're
Yeah.
like a dog, you know,
Yeah.
but I think you've got to give people the space and not be judgmental and not push it down their throat, because
Yeah.
when I wasn't vegan, I would have certainly just, you know, said, shut up, get away from me, I don't want to hear your crap. You know, I think it's better to do what you do, and obviously as a great athlete, you know, then people find out you eat a plant-based diet and go, whoa, wait a second. How do you do that? Where do you get protein? You know, and you're a good example
Yep.
of what a vegan athlete is able to accomplish. I think it's better to do that than to, because you're not going to win. You know, yeah, I mean, it's almost pointless to try to engage somebody in debate. You know, nobody ever wins one of those.
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
You know, you just in fact, people are going to dig in their heels harder and stuff. And unfortunately, you know, the vegan community gets kind of a bad rap because of some people and stuff like that. But I think what you do, you know, what a lot of us do, you know, is the right way to go about doing it. You know, you just try to be a good example of it, and then try to be forthcoming with information, you know, when people ask, and encourage people. And if somebody's not ready to go all in, then fine. You know, if they want to start by cutting out meat, or they want to, you know, cut out dairy or whatever, that's a step in the right direction, and that should be celebrated and encouraged. But before we wrap this up, man, what do you got going on? You know, what are your plans for the future, man? What's going on in the life of the vegan legend right now?
Right now, it's, you know, working towards a big deadlift goal that I've had.
What's the goal? Do you want to say it? Okay, yeah,
600 for reps.
600 for reps.
Yep.
How many reps?
I don't know yet. We'll see when I hit
more
the
than
600
one, right?
for reps.
All
As
right.
long as it's more than one.
Well, what do they say? If it's over 5 is cardio? So it'll be count as a cardio workout if you do 6 or more. Would that be?
Heck, I've done 525 for 7.
525 for 7. Jeez.
Yeah, and on the 7th rep, I paused it on the negative.
Just
So
took it
the
down nice and
eccentric.
slow. Nice.
No, I paused right below the knees.
Oh, you stopped. You literally stopped
Yep.
during it.
And I held it. Heck, it was 2 weeks ago I pulled 600 off of 2 mats of mine, which is roughly 3 inches.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's
there, man.
It's almost there.
It's there.
Yep.
All right. So 600 for reps. What about wrestling? What were you focused on right now?
Making the World Team Trials.
World Team Trials. When's that?
After the U.S. Open in April, so I want to say it'll either be end of May or June that they'll have the World Team Trials.
End of May, June.
But
All right, man.
That's a big goal.
So we got World Team Trials. We got 600 deadlift for reps. Look for big things from my buddy Zack here. Zack, thanks so much for coming out and spending some time on the Strength and Health podcast, man. You're my first on my podcast. You're my first official guest, so welcome, man. And you about ready to go hit the weights?
Oh, heck yeah.
All right.
Always ready.
This is Scott Scheller for the Strength and Health podcast. Thanks for tuning in, listening to me and my buddy Zack talk shop for a few minutes here. And until next week, as always, stay strong and stay healthy.